What's up, everybody? It's Part-Time Gamer Dad here. We are starting our second episode of N64 Score. So we're at Goodwill right now. We just dropped off some donations of baby clothes that the consignment store couldn't take the other day. We still are left with a few things, some baby seats that we'll figure out what to do with those. I couldn't take them due to liability reasons. And I was about to leave. I've got lunch in about half an hour. It's about 20 minutes away. And as I was about to leave, I thought about it. Goodwill probably has some stuff that's severely underpriced. And so what we're going to do is we're trying to go inside. We're going to take a look at some DVDs, some video games maybe, see what they got going on, and see if we can flip anything to start creating the profit now before we hit the store up after lunch and see if we can get a little extra money to play with for the N64 budget.
So I came across this Toy Story VHS. What's interesting about it, if you open it up, it's got like a bunch of the original inserts in, as well as like a holiday video shop, little brochure. Oh, look at this. Celebrate 25 years with Walt Disney in 1997. Let's go see what this goes for real quick.
All right, everybody, so we had lunch. We are now going into a store that I used to actually manage called Second and Charles. They kind of exist all over the country. They're the little brother of a company called Books A Million. I'm at my old stomping grounds. I was an assistant manager here and a store manager. And it's kind of close to the Goodwill that we went to, maybe about 10 minutes away. So I'm kind of backtracking from lunch, which is closer to home. So we're still about half an hour from home. We also, I'm recognizing now that we have not even talked about the haul we had from Goodwill. So we will talk about that at the end of the video. But guys, we are ready, and I'll break it down later, but coming away from that haul, there's a conservative $60 expected profit from that stop at Goodwill. So it ended up being kind of a gold mine. We bought 21 things, so we spent a bit of money, but $60 profit, you can't beat that. We're starting off with a healthy budget for this stop, and this place does carry retro games, so we'll see what they got waiting for us inside.
So unfortunately, this audio had to be cut out due to a copyright issue with the music playing in the background. But what this goofy guy is talking about right now is his lack of finds. He found a couple Wii U games, but they had no value in terms of flipping. So he's going to look around for other stuff. There's no inbox 64 games. There's hardly any 64 games of value. Let's see what he ends up finding.
All right, folks, so I didn't take a whole lot of footage in there. Some of the employees were kind of starting to stalk near me, and I didn't know if they were kind of catching on to that. I was scanning every single thing I could. Like I said, in the store, there were no N64 games. The video game section was kind of a bust, as was just about everything in the store. One thing that I remember from my time at this company was that either stuff was way underpriced or stuff was right at market price, if not a little bit higher, and it seems like it's at market value, if not a little bit higher. So there's really no room. Not only was there not much room for margins, there was no room for margins. Actually, I'd be paying more money than I could pay for it online. And as I was just about to give up hope, I actually stumbled upon this guy right here. It's the Little House on the Prairie complete series on DVD. Spent $40 on it, but online it's going for much higher value. I mean, like the lowest listing I saw for this version was about $75. So even if you factor out like fees and shipping, I mean, I could get 20 to some of them were going for $95 to $100. I want to play conservative. I would say let's kind of bounce in the middle, about 80. So that, after any kind of shipping or anything I might have to associate with that, let's just call it a $70 take home. I mean, that's going to be a $30 profit. So if you add that on top of the $60 conservative profit that we had from earlier, that puts us at a whopping $90. Now here's the problem. I have to go home. My wife has to go to a meeting at my daughter's school today, but $90 for to start looking around. I'm not going to go anywhere else today, but what I am going to do is I am going to start looking online at some games that might be in that $90 range. And what we'll do is we'll start kind of shopping around, look at price charting, see the stuff that's on my list that might be of interest, and something that we get a more high dollar value of. I might call Jim over at Gameforce. And what I also might do is head over sometime this weekend to a place called Docs Video Games. Docs is kind of a competitor of Gameforce. Awesome people. I've had a great relationship with those stores for quite some time, so we might have to take this into future episodes. But what we're going to do before I sign off is we're going to head back home. I'm not sure if this is going to be filmed today or tomorrow, but we are going to review everything that I bought over at Goodwill, and we'll also take a look at what the expected per product profit should be from that here in just a second.
What's up, guys? As you can see, we are now 7 weeks into the future, my present. And unfortunately, Pastor Josh was not able to record the rest of the video that day because I really jacked up my ankle. I can't tell you when it happened, but a really bad sprain occurred at some point. Had to rush to the urgent care, and they had to give me some meds, and I had to be on kind of like bed rest for a few days. I was in bad shape for about 3 or 4 days, and then I returned to work. I've been back to work for about 7 weeks, and it's been great getting reacclimated. But that and the twins and family life and doing some other videos, right? All that's kind of taking precedence, and I need to prioritize. But I want to make sure that we end this episode on a strong note. So we're here at a place called Game Trader. It's a local game store by my house, maybe about 15-20 minutes away. There's a couple of things with the way that they do business that I'm a little not concerned about, but you know, they gave me a little pause, and that is that they do check some of their retro games, especially the box stuff, like in real time. So when we go in there, prices may not be as negotiable, which is fine. That's how they choose to do business. We just may not purchase them from them on this day because I can't negotiate, and that's fine. But also we need an N64. So my goal is going into this, we either get an N64 or we get a game, a boxed game, and we have 90 from the last time we went. And then I've sold a few other things just since last time or the last 2 months that help beef up the budget a little bit. So hopefully when we go in there, we can get out for under, well, I think the budget in total is 130. So we can get out for under 130, get another game, get a 64 would be awesome. To come away with that today, really solidify that this challenge is happening. And later in this video, we will go over the full list. We won't have it printed out yet. Our printer took a crapper. It's been a whole thing, guys. So, but we are going to finally reveal the list, and hopefully soon we will have it posted on the channel as well. So I will catch you guys inside.
Living that dad life, y'all.
So we just got done with Game Trader. It was a pretty successful visit. They actually had a few games that I was really into. The one I really wanted was Mario Kart 64. Unfortunately, we had a budget of 130. It was 165. We chatted a bit. He talked with his manager, got it down to 160. And to just be authentic and honest, like I could have swung the 160, but that would not have been honoring to the challenge. So we did pick something up, though. It wasn't a 64. They didn't have any N64s, but we did pick up a game, complete in box with the manual. So I'm going to meet you guys back at home, and we'll talk about what we picked up today to finish out this pretty chaotic and really long, strung out episode.
So, went to Game Trader,
got some footage. Want to respect the guy's maybe hesitancy to like let us film in there. He was saying that we could, but he seemed a little uncomfortable. I wanted to respect that. He wasn't the manager, so we did check out some PS1 games like Resident Evil Director's Cut and Resident Evil 2, but they were way scratched up, so I didn't feel comfortable paying the prices they were asking for it, much less when they were so scratched up. So we did come across two complete inbox N64 games, and the first one was Mario Kart 64. That's a grail, right? But the price on it was $165. I talked them down to $160. The budget's $130. Didn't feel comfortable breaking the budget, and really just disrespecting the challenge by going $30 over budget. So we did walk away with a different game, and that game is Quest 64. Now I know some people do not like this game. I don't know enough about it, but it is a game I've always been interested in. The design of it, and I'm probably way off base, but it reminds me of like Mystical Ninja with Gomon, which is also a Grail title. I used to have it complete in box, but unfortunately I was an idiot and I sold like all of my complete in box games about 5-6 years ago. So and this was never one of them, but it's the one that was within our budget and the one they had, and it's so nice too. Like this box is very crisp, very clean. The game actually came in a like plastic packaging inside the insert, and the chip on it looks really good as well. The thing that's really crazy about this particular copy is two things actually. Number one is it had a manual. Now, if you remember, GoldenEye, our first episode, did not have a manual, so that was really cool. But this manual had also like never been used ever. And what I mean by that is that if you look at like the quest notes, they're blank, and it's also just in really great condition. But kind of the thing that it really blew my mind was there was a double-sided poster inside of here. One side is Quest 64, right? And that's really, really cool. The other side, if you know me, you know I'm a wrestling fan, was WCW NWO. So I think once we get into the new house here, probably next year, we have a proper game room. We're going to frame this guy, put it up. We might do the WCW side just because I'm more personally invested in that than Quest 64. I've never played Quest 64, but we're definitely going to play it once we get to 64. They had a Donkey Kong themed 64. I think a few days before I got there. It was like $200, so it would have been outside the budget. I might have tried to find some stuff to flip if it was there, but because it was Quest and Mario Kart, like I just couldn't figure out what I would have flipped. And everything that I was interested in personally was like, I don't know, it seemed overpriced. Or it was just the quality of it wasn't what I would expect for the price they were asking me. So with the exception of this and Mario Kart 64, so maybe I'll go back and they'll have Mario Kart 64. But that kind of brings me to another point I have. So with these games, it's taking a lot of time and it does cost a lot of money. So there's got to be a few changes to the challenge. Number one, unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to look for some cartridge-only copies of games. Now, there's going to be a full list of the 64 games for the 64 that I won. We're going to throw that over onto the community tab, so you can go there, you can see what the full list is, and I'll update that as we mark stuff off. The other thing that I think we're going to have to do is look at how we fund this a little bit differently. So, two things. Number one, we're a ways off from this, but once the channel becomes monetized, we are probably going to use the proceeds from the channel to help fund the 64 score to a degree. Now, obviously, we're carrying the budget over at all times, but as you know, I probably wouldn't be making much money from this channel to begin with. I think it's cool, like see what we build this channel out of, and see how we can utilize that towards 64 games. Now, even though we're only going after 64 games, so far our average cost per game is $100 per game. So that's $6,400, and we know that some games like Clay Fighters, probably Jet Force Gemini, some Mystical Ninja, some of those games that I really, really want are going to cost more money. Number two, I'm thinking about Patreon, and maybe having you guys like donate and making a suggestion of what from the list you want to see me go after next. Now, what that might require is me doing a couple episodes that are like online retro game purchasing based, like eBay, or like seeing Marketplace and stuff like that on Facebook. But we'll see. We'll cross those bridges when we get to it. I just want to give ourselves the best opportunity of not making this a 5-10 year series, like making this a 1 to 2 year series, and getting as many of these games as we can complete in box, but also getting the complete collection as much as we can. And we still need an N64, which seems to be eluding me at every turn. And really, this all comes down to a really, probably the most important thing is, this is the part-time part of part-time gamer dad, but I don't want to let that handcuff us to be able to do something really cool with the series. You can probably hear my kids crying right now. I want to make sure that I am available for them as much as possible. And that's my priority. Also, I've gone back to work over the last 6-7 weeks. So that's also a priority for me because that's how I make my livelihood and that's how I can support my family. And then on top of all that, I have, my wife and my older daughter and working with serving at my church and just doing all these things that I feel like are the priorities. And this is also a priority for me, but it's gonna be the lowest level thing, right? Because everything else is just so much more high stakes, especially my family. So with those other things in play, like especially Patreon and maybe shopping a little online, I think that's where we're going to push this towards a little bit. So if you like that idea, if you think the Patreon idea is a good idea, please leave the comment just reaffirming that. If you don't think it's a good idea, let me know that too, because I'm always open ears to what we can do to make this a more fun challenge, but something that's attainable, right? Also, when we get to 1,000 subscribers, the one N64 game that was not part of this challenge because I had it before the challenge started is Warzone, and I will be signing this and I will be giving this away. It is on the list. Here's the thing. This is on the list of the 64 games. I just feel like I want to honor the challenge, so this one, owning it before the challenge started, it's not part of the collection. We're going to give it away, and I'm going to sign it for you guys if you'd like, as just a little keepsake. So we get to 1,000 subscribers, we'll be doing that. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you tell all your friends about these videos. I love to interact with you guys and just kind of know your thoughts and feelings on these games. And it's really fun. This series is a lot of fun because this is my childhood, man. Like, even though I didn't play this game, like, I know this game. I've heard about it and I'm familiar with it. Like this game, right? Like Warzone and GoldenEye, that's my childhood, man. That was every sleepover party ever with my friends, ordering some pizza, drinking Mountain Dew, playing GoldenEye late into the night. So I'm really enjoying this series, and I'd love to just figure out a way that we can continue to do it at a regular cadence. So let me know what you think about these ideas. Make sure, like I said, like this video, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for your time. I really appreciate you, and I will see you very soon.